So here we are, we're starting with a cube as always, and we have to think about the space we're gonna see. So I think that if we we remove the cube, make a new cube. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I think a lot of people doing that. So the space what I want to create is something like this, or maybe smaller. It's not really that I have a plan for it. Maybe that is bad or not, but what I do know is that I want to remove these two. So we have a floor and a backplate. So and if we have the camera, we should have something in mind. Of course we can change this always, but we have to start somewhere. So I think this is a great start. So the next thing is what we do is creating some floor tiles. So by doing that, we create a new cube. Sometimes I think, yeah, how is it in real life? Where do you start? I think you start with some concrete, a concrete room with nothing in it. Okay, there are some windows, but you start with tiles on the floor, then you put something on the wall, some paint, and then you put the kitchen in, you put some props in it, and that's it. So that's what we do. Nothing different. So tile, and if you watched my bathroom tutorial, you know what I'm gonna do. Making some cool looking tile, and I'm projecting the image on it. And the image we're gonna use is not the Blender render. We go to the cycles render, use nodes, image texture, we're gonna open it, and what do we have? We have some cool looking images. Gray 6, gray marble. I think we're gonna use gray marble. Yeah. Or maybe we have something else in mind. Yeah, gray 6. We want the gray 6. Sorry for this confusion, but getting used to it. So we're opening a new screen and go to the UV image editor. So there we are. And it's not really a clean texture, but well, it doesn't matter. We are scaling this. Yes, something like this. I wish there was a button that you just click it and it's filled exactly till these corners, but now we have to do it by hand. Or maybe there is a tool and I just don't know it. Oh, that's shit. Yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. So G, Y, till there. I'm doing the same for this one. Selecting that one, zooming in, and pressing G, Y, G, Y, dragging it. Have a look if screencast is enabled, because I can't see. Yeah, it is. Oh, maybe we have to enable it. Here, start display. So there we go. So we have the texture, and I can see there is some weird stuff going on there. What is happening? So if we go to the texture mode, material, we can see our tile. So then we're going to do, you can see there are some UV problems, but never mind, we won't see that. So I'm duplicating it, and we're gonna use the array, of course, but first we need to do some other tricks. I go to side view, and it needs to be there with some space between it. Maybe a bit more, something like this. And how does that looks like? We're gonna rotate it 90%. 90. Oh, oops. Okay, this is what we have. If we rotate it, something will happen. Minus 90. That would look pretty whack. Shift D. No Alt D, because we're gonna change some stuff. And this needs to be exactly the same. So have right here. So 1, 2, G, Y. Well, I think this is pretty much the same, and if it's not, we have to change that. So this one, I'm looking to these black areas, so I want this on the downside and this on the left side. So this needs to be minus 180, and for this one this needs to be 90. Yes, 90. Yes, so we have 4 different tiles, and now we're gonna join them and make it a bit smaller or something like this, and we go to this add a modifier array, and let's have a look. How does this look like? It needs to be, well, this is 1, but I think it's 1.005, 0.004, I think, or maybe 3, even 3. Yeah, all right. And how does it look like if we make a new array, making that 0, making this one? Yeah, we still have to fix that on this side. So 1.003, 1.003, I think we come away with that. So now it's just duplicating it, something like this, and I'm happy. One more time. No difference. This. So we put this on the floor, but we are not done yet. Or are we already done? So what I want, maybe we have to zoom in a little bit, is oh, yes, there it is. We have now some nice looking white concrete between the tiles, and that gives some nice effect. So I'm selecting this, and what I will do is adding a new material. I'm making this a bit gray, so it's not really white, but concrete looks like this color a bit, and you can always use a texture if you want. So I'm going to File, Save As, Tutorial Kitchen 1. Very important, save the work. And because what we can do is use the, if we use a very big texture, we can always try it, is work with the GPU, CUDA, enable it, GPU, and if we hit render, yeah, we have CUDA problems. So that's used because this is a very large texture, but if we get close to the texture, it looks good. So they're like the going to the CPU mode. What looks good? I want this. I want to have add a lamp, point lamp, and make that 0.01, a bit upwards, and put it to the second layer because that is our work area. And if we want to test it, we move this one also to the second layer. So what happens if we hit render? So this is what it looks like. Oh yeah, there's no white stuff, so maybe we should just leave it in the, oh no, we moved that one too. M2, and give this a value of 500. So render it. It looks totally different. Well, maybe a bit. So the effect that I want is having some reflection on the tile and a bumpy effect. So now it looks really flat. I'm not going to use normal maps because I just don't like it. And maybe we have to scale down because I want to see more white stuff. So yeah, I will show you what I mean with that. I'll go to the texture mode and selecting these tiles, and maybe in this part, going closer, selecting this arrow, pressing shift, and do something like this. So now we see a bit more. And now we go to remove that one, and oops, we go go away. That one, that's better. Go to the node editor. So this is our node tree. That's what we need, and we go closer so we can hit render and see the effect. And we want this lamp somewhere like this, so we see what really is happening. So if we hit render, we can see all the results. So we just have a diffuse material. So the next thing what I'm going to do is add shader, mix shader, like this, and add shader glossy, and putting it down there. I think there's a value of 0.02 to start with. Another important thing is what I'm doing, that's almost always what I'm doing, is copy this one, add color mix, make that multiply, so we can use black and white areas, putting that in the upper one, and make this, well, I'll leave it what it is, make this 0.99, and put it in displacement. So if we hit render again, we should have a new result. So yeah, there we go. We get closer and a bit more like this. You can see we have some nice bumpy effect. But the glossiness can be a bit more. So I'm making it 0.05. Something like this. So we have more reflections on the tiles. But this is already a lot. So maybe 0.04. 0.04. Okay. Great. And I think it's good for now. Yes, because later when we're building more stuff, maybe I'm changing that till it looks better in the scene. When we put all the stuff together, we see, this doesn't work, we have to change it. Anyway, I go back to the solid mode and put everything back to layer 1, and we can hide this one. So you can see no glossy map, no glossy material, only glossy shader. Yeah, oops, B1. So there we go, we have a tiled floor, and we need to do some little thing extra. That is creating a wall, and I want to create some depth in the wall. So what I'm gonna do is make this a bit smaller, something like this. Yeah, should be good. And we have to see where it's, put it more downwards. Yeah, and one a bit bigger, and something like this. Yes. Maybe you think, what are you doing? I don't know. Yeah, same with this one. We need to know where it is, something like there. Need one more. Something. Yeah. Can we still see it? Nope. Yeah. Yeah, I can live with it. And we're gonna remove the faces, X faces, and I think we can extrude this a little bit. So we have a hole, fillet, something like this should be good. So we have an, you can do this with a boolean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we have a hole in this wall, and we need to make some window tiles, or window frames, not tiles. Make this a bit smaller, size it up, and I want one big one, not that big, something like this should be good. Putting it right there. front of the window. This is the big one, and yeah, we can smooth it right now, so we have done that. Get the subdivision surface, and there we go. One more to the left and one to the right, and there we go. Apply it, and we have some smooth thing over there. So I want another one just right there. Make that a bit smaller, and it looks, yeah, and one more, Shift D. So, and that needs to be like that. So a trick to measure them exactly the same is I'm putting a cube between them, and this cube needs to be exactly the same, like right there. And we can always drag this camera a bit, so we have it like that. All right, and we need one in the middle. Shift D and rotate it 90%, minus 90. So there we go. And I want it a bit there. Drag it to that space. All right. Later on we will put on materials, but for now this is the first part. In the next one we will start with creating some kitchen stuff, the big things, so the cases and things like that. So see you in part number 2.